Hey everyone, I'm Jacob Castro and welcome to another video here on Jacob's Aquarium. So today I have another plant guide for you guys, and it's none other than one of my favorite plants once again. There's a plant that I just think is the best foreground, best carpeting plant out there, and I thought it would be good to do a plant guide on this plant because it's one of the most requested plants that I get or that I have on my website. I can't keep it in stock, every time I get it. It is in such high demand. Everybody wants to grow it. Everybody wants to learn how to grow it. And that plant is Dwarf baby tears. So first, let's talk about its growth habits. Dwarf baby tears are by far the most elegant carpeting plant in my opinion. Given the right conditions, this plant will thrive and slowly cover any exposed substrate in your aquarium. Once planted, each portion will produce runners, which basically are individual stems that branch off and grow along the substrate. In order to promote carpeting, high light is very important with this plant. 2 light fixtures on your tank or growing this plant in a short aquarium where it sits close to the light fixture is best to provide adequate lighting for this plant. CO2 is a must as well. I tried growing this plant under high light and nutrients only, and it grew, but not very well. It's already a slow grower, so not providing CO2 to this plant made it grow even slower. So high light and CO2 is a must. I would say that dosing nutrients are optional, given I've grown this plant with high light and CO2 only for almost 2 years, as you guys have seen in my previous videos, and I've grown a full carpet of it, but my substrate definitely played a role in this successful growth. So I'd recommend a nutrient-rich substrate for this plant as well if you decide to not dose any nutrients. Lastly, dwarf baby tears are very sensitive to temperature. Grow this plant in a tank that maintains a constant temperature of 75 degrees and below. Anything over that will just make this plant melt. As far as compatibility, I found dwarf baby tears to be a very hardy plant, compatible with most fish that I would deem not suitable for a planted tank. Even nippy fish can't harm this plant once it's established. However, large fish, of course, like goldfish and cichlids will just tear this plant apart, so don't house them with those fish. As you know from my previous videos, I learned that the hard way. I've grown dwarf baby tears with Siamese algae eaters, and no matter how hard they tried, they could not peck at it enough to ruin it or even remove a leaf. So nippy fish will be perfectly fine being housed with this plant, but don't get crazy with cichlids or goldfish because they'll just turn it into one expensive salad. So let's move on to color now. Dwarf baby tears normally will appear lighter dark green in color, but if your tank is lacking vital nutrients like iron and potassium, it may turn a white or yellowish color, and like I said, that's a sign that your tank is lacking nutrients. So you might want to consider either dosing iron or potassium or nutrients in general, or making sure that or grow the plant in nutrient-rich substrate, because if not, you can expect a lot of discoloration, like I said, and sometimes the plant will even just melt away. So in order to maintain that nice bright green or dark green color, make sure you give it plenty of nutrients. And lastly, let's move on to propagation. Once dwarf baby tears have established in your aquarium, simply cut small sections out of the original portion and replant them. Yes, it's pretty much that easy. Replanting individual stems, however, isn't necessary and can be time consuming, so removing small portions and replanting them is best. Just make sure each section you replant has white roots attached to it and plenty of them. If not, that small section of the plant will just melt away. Now when it comes time to trimming this plant, it's not as difficult as it may seem. I would suggest, however, a good sharp pair of scissors to make good even cuts instead of ripping this plant apart with dull scissors. When you trim this plant, go slowly and only take a tiny bit off the top layer of the carpet. If you start seeing white roots with every cut, you've gone too far, and this will only make these deep cuts melt away, leaving holes in your carpet. So just be careful, go slow, and just snip a small layer off the top. When it grows back, it'll likely appear thicker and fuller as well. But with dwarf baby tears already being a compact grower, it may be hard to notice. Nonetheless, it's extremely fun trimming this plant in my opinion. So in conclusion to this video, I think dwarf baby tears are a great carpeting plant. They're by far the most sought after, the most requested on my website, and I think just the most beautiful carpeting plant. They do, however, require CO2, nutrients, and high light, which means they are more for the advanced aquarius or somebody that has a lot of money to invest in planted tank. So maybe not the best beginner plant or even intermediate plant, but more for the advanced Aquarius, I think. So I think Dwarf baby tears would work great for anybody, but you just got to make sure you give them those 3 things: highlight, CO2, and nutrients. So thanks everybody so much for watching this new plant guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned because I got many more plant guides, and I also got a product review coming up of the Eheim Skim 350 surface skimmer. It's a surface skimmer that basically removes all those proteins from the top of your water and makes the top of your water in your aquarium crystal clear. And that's something I really need in my 80 gallon because I can't seem to provide enough agitation to the top of my water to get rid of all that protein and buildup. So I thought I would give this product a try, and of course do a product review on it for you guys so you know if it's worth buying. So stay tuned for that product review as well. Thanks again for watching everybody. I really appreciate it. Have fun with your tanks, and I will see you next time.